From my everyday life at the office, I only know that situation too well. I'm sitting at my desk, deep into my tasks, and suddenly, the door opens and my boss walks in. Next to him is a new colleague, Sarah. He leads her from desk to desk for the classic introductory round. When they get to me, we stand up briefly and shake hands. She smiles and says, "Hi, I'm Sarah." I react on autopilot. "Hi, I'm Nikolai." We exchange a few words and share a laugh. It all seems perfectly polite. But here is the moment we all know. Sarah turns around to walk out the door of the office, and in that exact second, it happens. Her name is gone, just deleted. It's as if my brain hit a clear cache button the moment we let go of each other's hands. I stand there feeling like an idiot, just hoping someone else will shout her name later so I can secretly copy-paste that information back into my memory. Why is that? Because we shared our names during a high-stress phase. In the first few seconds of meeting someone, the brain is in scan mode. It's judging the other person's posture, eyes, and energy. It's trying to figure out if you're a friend or an enemy. It literally doesn't have the RAM available to store a name. Giving your name at the very start of meeting someone new is like trying to save a file on a computer that is still booting up. It just crashes. Main characters don't do this. They understand that identity needs a foundation before it can be stored. They don't just throw their name into the black hole of the initial scan. So here's the solution. Let Sarah arrive first. When she says her name, don't just nod and fire off yours. Stop for a second, look her in the eye and repeat it. "Sarah, did I get that right?" This does two things. First, by saying it back to her, you are forcing your own brain to save the file. You are moving Sarah from the trash bin into the important folder. Second, and more importantly, it proves you actually care. In a world full of NPCs who are just waiting for their turn to talk, a person who stops to make sure they heard your name correctly is instantly 100% more charismatic. Think about it from her perspective. Everyone else she met that day probably gave her a distracted nod or a rushed, "Nice to meet you." But you were different. You paused and validated her presence. Because you took that extra second to value her name, she is now primed to remember yours as well. By making her feel like the main character, she instinctively starts treating you like one too. And this leads us directly to the second point. Patch 2, Giver's Energy.